Hello again. This week I've been thinking about the EPCA annual meeting. It took place in October, but I've been thinking about it this week because I've just been writing up our report, which will be in the December issue of HCB, so look out for that. It was, as usual, a very interesting, wide-ranging meeting with presentations from some surprising but very interesting experts in various fields. What they promised EPCA was that we would be talking about smart cities and climate resilient cities. And I probably wasn't the only one who was wondering, well, what's that got to do with the chemical industry? But it became apparent fairly early on. Professor Carlo Ratti from MIT, who has a thing about sensible cities, he said that cities take up 2% of the global land surface, but are home to 50% of the world's population and produce 80% of the world's pollution. So if we're going to move towards a more sustainable global economy with less waste, more energy efficiency, it's going to be cities where that happens. And it becomes clear very quickly that to do so will take the ingenuity and the innovation of the petrochemical industry. It's something that European petrochemical industry has been very good at over the last 100 years or more. In fact, it was said that this is Europe's feedstock advantage, if you like. But what it means is not just the application of new materials in the construction of cities, although remarkably, and I must admit I didn't know this, that 5% of global CO2 emissions come from the concrete industry. Who knew? Anyway, and there's going to be a lot of that. But countries that are planning major cities from scratch, and this goes especially in China, but also in Saudi Arabia, as a speaker from SABIC mentioned, will be looking at utilising a holistic approach to building cities using more recyclable or recycled materials, buildings that can be taken apart and moved and reused. And a presentation from BASF was incredibly interesting because they've applied the same concepts to project to improve sustainability at an old village next to their big plant in Ludwigshafen, and have come up with some incredible results. So this was, I think, part of the fundamental issue is that the petrochemical industry is a major provider of exactly the sorts of things that are going to be required in the future if human life is going to be able to continue in a sustainable fashion. I'll follow up on this next week, I think, but thanks for watching.